Alright. And recording again. The thing I actually have to get used to about using OBS, diamonds, is how quickly it starts recording again.
Oh, okay.
Because the other day I realized that it actually starts recording so early that it can hear if I tap the record button really fast. So, like, I'll tap the record button really fast to, get back to recording, and it's loud enough it actually appears at the beginning of the recording. I'm like, God damn, that is responsive, but still.
Yeah.
It's a little ridiculous. That's lava. Bye.
There's obsidian there, but I'm not picking it up because why bother?
Yeah, I'm picking up a little bit of obsidian here and there.
Okay, these are definitely conjoined houses.
Alright.
The question is to what degree?
I need to start going up. Actually, that's a good idea. I'm going to start climbing to the top of towers and looking around. Because I can get
Well, they're joined together enough that I can just break through 2 windows in a wall and have a solid passage between them.
Well, that sounds
Nothing
good.
super impressive, but it's a start.
I wish I had some of those, ant wings or whatever the hell it is. Arnya.
Well, that's the next version.
Yeah. Alright, well, this is mildly worked, so. Got a 3 there.
And I'm calling this marker group conjunction junction.
What's that function? Ow. Breaking my ankles.
That's a different version than I learned, Jay.
That's the mobster conjunction junction. I mentioned that to someone the other day who was like 16 or so, and I've never heard of that. I was like, go to hell.
Uh-huh. Don't you just hate how people are younger than us?
I do. The worst part is some of these houses, for people that are curious, some of these houses may get discovered with hallways already through them, because once we were done recording, we all adventure robbed out for a bit, and that's where we got this idea. Okay, this house is truly screwed up, and I'm liking it. All I had to do is break through a window. We do that. That is a nice little passageway down between 2 houses. That's good.
These don't look super promising, but I'll go take a look. That might be some. I wonder if that tower is close enough to be attached.
You can always
check on.
I like that also formed the way it did with the 2 doors for the 2 houses. Oh wow, I completely missed this giant snarl across the street. This is nice. I mean, might have to repair a little bit of that wall. I don't mind that, considering how screwed up this is.
This is interesting. At least 2 of these houses are connected by one of the backyards. But they're laid out in a way where it's like, okay, this is kind of a valid chunk of house.
Yeah, actually.
Like, it makes sense.
Okay, let me... Off the damn roof. Get out of here, you hobos. That was a hobo, not homo. I'm not bigoted in any way, shape, or form.
No, you're just homophobic.
Yes, I'm hobophobic. I do remember at one point telling some girl that I was a hobosexual, and that I only had sex with people that carried a bindle. Which is, for those who did not know, the little, sack on a stick that hobos carry.
Okay, if I break through this wall...
Oh, this is actually pretty neat, too. Like, one of the houses is... Yeah, did I mark this? I did not mark this one. I think this one's fine.
Yeah, this is kind of okay. I think you should put a light in here so a creeper doesn't pop in and blow it up, but
just put down a torture.
Otherwise...
I'm gonna put my flint and steel in my inventory as opposed to in my hand.
Good plan.
Alright. Should I put down a bed so we can nap out the night, or?
Yeah, let me just go find someplace where I'm not gonna get walked in on.
As I've been reading up, apparently they have gotten enough funding. They're going to do at least 6 new episodes of MST3K. So Crow is happy. Crow. Yes, yeah, that's my online name on Final Fantasy. So, Habit, because I was just doing that today.
Alright. Bed in progress.
Alright, there we go. No, but because of that, I now have seen the guy who, sells really, really high quality replica robot parts is now selling the duplicates or selling the parts I need to finish my Crow, as I told you when we were goofing around with this the other day.
Yes, I assumed you were just recapping for the theoretical audience.
Yes. And... oh, wow. There's a huge number of snarled together buildings in this area.
You're sure that's not one of the clusters we ran into before?
Actually, none of these houses have had any walls or anything broken down to allow passage between them. So... I hear lava. That worries me. I mean, I know that there's a forge right here, and that's probably why, but I'm gonna get rid of that lava. Because with the borked up houses, you can never be sure. Yeah, so if I end up with any, spare funds after the holidays, which, I assume... but I will be investing in robot bits.
Robits, if you will.
Yes, robots. Alright. Oh, that was a nice... there's like 3 major snarls directly next to each other.
I'm mostly just finding, like, mundane kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Well, we're going to need as many mundane little things as we are big things, because we're going to need stuff to be like, well, we've got like 8 by 6 blocks here. What can we cram in?
But okay, here's the thing too, like, and you've observed this when talking about the difference between our sides of the existing compound. I like the mundane stuff because it stays functional.
Yeah. I like the horribly borked.
Right, the kind of stuff you go for is very interesting for what it demonstrates about world generation. And putting it together is almost like an art project.
Yeah.
And I totally get and respect that.
But
you make a lot of usable space inside.
Yeah, the functionality goes away.
Yeah.
Oh wow, is this another? These just look like, 2 normal house. This might be 2 libraries that are actually coexisting. Oh no, it's actually just 2 houses that completely butted up next to each other. Really need to just stop marking these and just hit A. That way I can speed through marking them, because the numbers and categorization I was thinking I could do will mean nothing by next week. Or even, the end of the night. Oh, here's another screwed up one. Damn, these are all close.
It looks like something.
Yeah.
Way far away.
Let me climb up on this tower. If I'm seeing this many, this many snarls in one area could, conceivably mean.
The map,
Yeah.
so I can get an overhead view that way and kind of get a sense of what's going on.
Alright, that's one I marked. That's one I marked, even though it's not super-de-duper.
Okay, Barney.
Super-de-duper. I love
Is Barney
you.
still a thing?
I think it is. I am glad that I was old enough to never have to watch that. I think I'd honestly resent my parents if I had watched Barney. I think also that they would never have let me, so it's not really an issue. Sesame Street? Yeah. Mr. Rogers? Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Barney? No. I like that they proved that children that, or at least, quote-unquote...
So cool.
Well, find something.
Yeah, it's a house full of stone. No, it's a I think it's a T-shaped house originally. And then a library formed inside of it, so it's become like a split level.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's actually really neat looking. It's going to need a lot of rehab.
Yeah.
To make the space work, because of course the base of the library kind of imposed itself on the interior.
The fun thing about this is when I do, put it up for people to download if they so desire, if, anyone watched my videos, since the world generation actually has nothing to do with mods.
Oh yeah, everything will work right out of the box.
Yeah. Everything will be perfectly functional, and you won't have to worry about a damn thing, and you can... Oh man, I hope those are two buildings wedged together. Oh well, never mind, I don't care about that one.
Why, is it creepered?
No, I just passed by something way more interesting looking.
Well, don't sell the other one short. That might be interesting too.
Well, yeah.
The other one.
Okay, that is at least 4 stories in the air.
Really?
Okay, the entire opposite side of the street from it is actually all connected together into one homogeneous building, where all of the front doors are actually accessible, and the interiors are completely intact, but each building is connected.
Interesting.
But directly across the street from it, I think a library tried to spawn on top of a tower.
Ooh.
So, it is literally like 4 stories off the ground straight up. I'm gonna have to try and get up into that and see what happens. Really should have brought an axe. And I can make one.
So.
Actually, I can make one right here. There's a villager. Yeah, and the ladder's tower leads directly up into it. That is neat. Alright, definitely. I was gonna mark it good one, but I started to mark it goo. Goo is not the answer.
No.
Alright, let me put that down. I'm gonna make an extended iron axe. If I can remember how one does. I think I do.
Isn't it a T over 4 handle material? A sideways T?
It may very well be.
This town is too small to have any fucked buildings.
That's always a shame.
Well, it just makes it easier to move on.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a keeper. I also like how it made the tower on the ground floor is actually perfectly intact. Its second floor is completely gone.
Huh.
There's just like a solid passage, and yeah, the house directly across the street, I can see from the window on one house straight through 3 other buildings and out all of their windows.
Sounds like a good find.
Yeah, that is really neat. And directly next to it here is... Okay, that's a library that rammed into... It's not a butcher's shop, a blacksmith's. A butcher's shop. Wait.
I mean, there is that. It's just a completely different kind of building.
Yeah.
This is a big chunk of town, but I'm not seeing anything remarkable yet.
Yeah. I probably don't need to mark everything on here since...
Isn't that the whole point?
Well, I mean, so much of this is actually slammed... It is all so close to each other that I probably don't need to mark it just because it is all easily visible from, the house... or from each other.
Oh, okay. You mean you're not going to mark every individual instance there?
Yeah, and these 2 libraries... I'm just gonna kill you villagers. I mean, really.
I've been stabbing random villagers as I go, because they get in the way.
Yeah, and they're annoying, and no one loves them, and they smell funny.
That's why we put them in a home.
Exactly. And that would be neat if the buildings were connected in a way where I could just knock out a wall. It's 2 libraries that formed almost perfectly in an L shape. But if they were like 1 block further over, I could just, knock out 1 piece of wall and have it be a single screwed up, L shape, which would be great for a corner piece.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they're just 1 block off from being useful in that way.
Oh. That's a shame.
Yeah. And... Yes, hello, Squizzers. Squizward. Squiz, yes. Squizgarward. Oh, Metalocalypse. I missed that show.
I never watched it.
It was reasonably funny. I mean, it was pretty amusing on and off. There were parts of it where I was just, goat.